Italian opera is both the art of opera in Italy and opera in the Italian language. Opera was born in Italy around the year 1600, and Italian opera has continued to play a dominant role in the history of the form until the present day. Many famous operas in Italian were written by foreign composers, including Handel, Gluck, and Mozart. Works by native Italian composers of the 19th and early 20th centuries, such as Rossini, Bellini, Donizetti, Verdi, and Puccini, are amongst the most famous operas ever written, and today are performed in opera houses worldwide. Dafne by Jacopo Peri was the earliest composition considered opera as understood today. Peri's works, however, did not arise out of a creative vacuum in the area of sung drama. An underlying prerequisite for the creation of opera proper was the practice of monody. Monody is the solo singing/setting of a dramatically conceived melody designed to express the emotional content of the text it carries, which is accompanied by a relatively simple sequence of chords rather than other polyphonic parts. Italian composers began composing in this style late in the 16th century, and it grew in part from the long-standing practice of performing polyphonic madrigals with one singer accompanied by an instrumental rendition of the other parts, as well as the rising popularity of more popular, more homophonic vocal genres such as the frittola and the villanella. In these latter two genres, the increasing tendency was toward a more homophonic texture, with the top part featuring an elaborate, active melody, and the lower ones, usually these were three-part compositions, as opposed to the four or more part madrigal, a less active supporting structure. From this, it was only a small step to fully fledged monody. All such works tended to set humanist poetry of a type that attempted to imitate Petrarch and his Trecento followers, another element of the period's tendency toward a desire for restoration of principles it associated with a mixed-up notion of antiquity. The music of Dafne is now lost, except for the 455-line verse libretto. The first opera for which music has survived was performed in 1600 at the wedding of Henry IV of France and Marie de' Medici at the Pitti Palace in Florence. The opera Eurydice, with a libretto by Rinuccini, set to music by Peri and Giulio Caccini, recounted the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. The style of singing favored by Peri and Caccini was a heightened form of natural speech, dramatic recitative supported by instrumental string music. Recitative thus preceded the development of arias, though it soon became the custom to include separate songs and instrumental interludes during periods when voices were silent. Both Dafne and Eurydice also included choruses commenting on the action at the end of each act in the manner of Greek tragedy. The theme of Orpheus, the demigod of music, was understandably popular and attracted Claudio Monteverdi (1567–1643), who wrote his first opera, Orfeo, the Fable of Orpheus, in 1607 for the court of Mantua. Monteverdi insisted on a strong relationship between the words and music. When Orfeo is performed in Mantua, an orchestra of 38 instruments, numerous choruses and recitatives were used to make a lively drama. It was a far more ambitious version than those previously performed, more opulent, more varied in recitatives, more exotic in scenery, with stronger musical climaxes which allow the full scope for the virtuosity of the singers. Opera had revealed its first stage of maturity in the hands of Monteverdi. L'Orfeo also has the distinction of being the earliest surviving opera that is still regularly performed today.